1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 155, Brewers at White Sox.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. We are in a best-of-7 series in the American League Midwest with the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago White Sox. Two teams that made the playoffs a year ago. Brewers were a shocking wild card number 6 seed that really didn't belong in a playoff field, but they got hot really late in the year and in the postseason tournament and snuck in, stole a wild card spot. They're not very good, and they're proving that this year. White Sox were the kind of the Cinderella story a year ago, going all the way to the league championship and losing to the Oakland A's. They would have played the A's tough traditionally in this time when both teams were residents of the American League West. But in realignment, the White Sox are no longer under the thumb of the Oakland A's, and they can blossom in this new American League Midwest with the Brewers, Royals, and Twins as their siblings. So in this series, let's take a look at what is going on. This series opened up in Chicago, Game 1. The Brewers sent recently acquired Sam McDowell from the Giants out there against Tom Bradley. A lot of early fireworks in this one. We have a solo homer by Hovey, and it's 2-0 Brewers. But in the bottom of the third, Carlos May rolls homer 1-2, fly ball the rest, and gets a 3-run homer out of it. Huge break for the White Sox. A 90% chance of scoring nothing in that inning turned into 3 runs. Then in the third, bottom of the third, this is what the White Sox can be effective at doing. Getting on base via the base on balls as Tom Egan, Tony Muser, Bucky Dent, Ken Henderson, Carlos May, 5 walks and 3 runs in this inning with a single tossed in there. That's pretty much the ball game. Final score 6-3. White Sox defend home field, of course, in game number 1. Long series between these two teams. Game number 2. Now you got Wilbur Wood against Jim Colburn, and this is much easier for the White Sox, who you would perceive to be spreading their wings a little bit. They've had a rough start to this year, been kind of sloppy, but now they're starting to look like the White Sox of a year ago. Buddy Bradford's solo homer. Then in the third inning, again, a hit, a walk, a 3-run homer by off-season acquisition Ken Henderson. A Carlos May double, a sac fly by Orta, and there's 5 runs. And then again, 3 walks and a single in the fourth makes it 7-0 with Wilbur Wood on the mound. And this is academic, folks. Wilbur Wood is taken out after 7 to conserve some of those innings. The plan is to backload Wilbur, not have him pitch all these complete extra inning games early in the season, and click into some of those pitch on 2 days rest extra inning affairs late in the year when it matters most. So he exits after 7 innings, 3 hits, a run, and 6 strikeouts. And Lou Krause finishes the last 2 frames. It is a 9-3 victory for the White Sox, and you're thinking, man, can they sweep the Brewers? They would really help the Chi Sox to climb up in the series with a sweep. But in Game 3 in Milwaukee, these plucky Brewers, Stan Bonson for the Chi Sox and Jim Slayton for the Brewers. Solo homer, Bill Melton in the top of the second. White Sox would lead in every game that I've played in this series. But bottom of the frame, Darrell Porter homer. Then you get an RBI double by Gary Jestad in the third inning. You get a 2-run homer by Bob Stinson in the fifth, and it's 3-2 Chi Sox. But here come the Brewers in the bottom half. A single walk and RBI double by Jestad and a sac fly by Hovey. It's 4-3. In the 7th inning, this is a tight game, and it comes down to how long do you want to go with Stan Bonson. He's had a rocky start. They leave him in there in the 7th, and it's an RBI single by Rick Reichert. In the 8th inning, Dave Lemons and Jack Aker brought in, doesn't matter. A pinch hit RBI single by Fregosi. The Brewer bench is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs in the 7th and 8th innings. That extends the lead to 6-3. And Ken Sanders, the great Brewer closer, who's underused because the Brewers don't get into a lot of save situations, as you can imagine, but he gets a 5-out save. And the Brewers get on the board in the series with a victory. The home team has won the first 3 games. Game number 4. Now, White Sox decided to go with Bart Johnson and give Wilbur Wood a little bit more rest and watch Bart carefully. This is a rather intriguing game. It's Bart Johnson against Sam McDowell in short rest. Both pitchers known to walk a lot and strike out a lot, and it plays that way through 5 frames. Ton of base runners, no runs. But in the 6th inning, an Aparicio walk, a Carlos May walk. Dick Allen promptly hits into a double play. But with 2 outs, Bill Melton, and leading the club in home runs with a 2-run shot, could have been a 3-run shot if Dick Allen hit into a double play, but it is 2-0. Bottom of the frame, Johnson strikes out the leadoff hitter, a single, a fielder's choice, a single, and then he's left in to face Cardinal and strikes him out. And then they decide to put the kid on the shelf. Here is Johnson's line: 6 innings, 4 hits, but 5 walks and 8 strikeouts. And the theory is, after an RBI double in the 7th, it's a 3-0 White Sox lead. Let's go to our awesome back end of the bullpen, Jack Aker and Terry Forster, with a 3-run lead and 9 outs to get and go up 3-1 in the series. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Terry Forster faced 9 batters in the 7th inning, and Jack Aker faced 9 batters in the 8th inning. Yeah, so Terry Forster, a walk, single, walk, get a Bucky Dent error in there somewhere. Yeah, Terry Forster in 1 inning, 2 hits, 3 walks, 3 runs. Jack Aker 1 inning, 5 hits, 4 runs. So Aker and Forster put 12 men on base in 2 innings. Bart Johnson had put 9 men on base in 6 innings, but we were trying to protect the kid, Johnson, from failure, and it blew up horribly for the White Sox. The implosion of the White Sox bullpen, and we're right back where we were a year ago with the White Sox failing to close out winnable games. A team that is grabbing defeat from the jaws of victory. And this series is back to being tied up 2-2. But in a Game 5, who do the White Sox call on? It is Wilbur Wood. And he's in there against Jim Colburn. And this is another nice game. Bottom of the 3rd, we have an RBI single by George Scott, 1-0. Then in the 4th inning, after a 2-base error by Jose Cardinal and 2 groundouts, it's Bill Melton, a 2-out, 2-run homer. Seen that before. 2-1. But in the bottom of the 7th inning, give the Brewers credit for coming back with an RBI double by McNertney. It's 2-2. But in the 9th inning, it is a Brewer bullpen failure. In a 2-2 tie, Don McMahon, the setup guy, is brought in as Colburn gets up a hit and a walk, loads the bases with 1 out, and it's Louis Aparicio against Don McMahon. Aparicio, a .255 hitter, hit 5 homers all year, rolls homer 1-5 double, gets the 2-run double, and then a 2-run single by Bob Stinson. 4 big RBIs by the number 8 and 9 hitters on the White Sox. And Wilbur Wood gives up a solo homer in the 9th, but he of course will stick around for the complete game. Not the sharpest Wilbur Wood, by the way. Complete game victory, 12 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. But the White Sox will take it. They get the road win in Game 5, finally! And now have a chance to close this more difficult than predicted series out in a Game 6. So today's starters for the Milwaukee Brewers in the Game 6 will be Mike Torres, was a 16-game winner in '72 with the Expos, and he showed up here on the Milwaukee roster. And the White Sox, They will send Tom Bradley out there, 15-game winner in 71, with a 2.96 ERA and 286 innings. Torres, Bradley, Game 6, White Sox want to finish this now, get a +2 net, and get within a game and a half of the Royals for first place in the American League Midwest. Let's get started. Leading off for the Brewers, it is Jose Cardinal. 34, bounce to third. Gary Jestad, 412, flies left. Steve Hovely, 35, rolls to second base. The White Sox today have switched their lineup around a little bit. Dick Allen, who's been in a year-long slump, was batting cleanup. Now he's going to bat second to take advantage of his nice on-base percentage until we can figure out whether send him back into the cleanup spot when he starts picking it up. So he's moved into batting second, and Buddy Bradford, with all those homers on his cards, batting cleanup. They swapped Allen and Bradford in the lineup. So Ken Henderson will lead off. He's having a great year. 1-7. Let's just take a look at his card. He just got on. He is having a great year, the best offensive year of any of the White Sox players, notwithstanding Bill Melton's home runs. But Henderson for the White Sox in 74, 668 plate appearances, a 292 average, 20 home runs for a switch hitter with speed, extra base hits on his card. We like to call him the five-tool guy who lacked a lot of consistency throughout his career, but when he hits a season, boy, he hits it hard, and he did in 74. 1-7, triple one, base hit. And here is Dick Allen, now batting second. Let's see if he can improve on his year. 49 off Torres, and he does. Triple 1-5, base hit. And Allen's at first, and he's also a beef stealer. So you got speed on the corners. And Carlos May at the plate. 2-10, single dot dot. And the White Sox got it going today. The speedy top three hitters. Runners on the corners, nobody out for Buddy Bradford. 2-7, single 1-9. Rolls a chippy 3 single and gets the single 1-9. Now you got first and second with nobody out. This is where the White Sox, you need to put these Brewers away, get a crooked number in the first inning, make this 6-zip, and relax for the rest of the 8 frames. But they haven't been able to do that. Can they today? Batting fifth with first and second, it's George batting out of Orta. 66 off Torres, second X. Defensively, not very good. They are a 3.24 at second base. But he gets the GBA. Tough break there. Now you got a runner at third with 2 outs. And Bill Melton was plenty of 2-out, 2-run homers in this series. 55 off Torres, rolls to second. Well, there you go. That's your White Sox. This is the 2023 White Sox. They look promising, and then they somehow bungle up the prosperity after 4 straight singles. Top of the second. Here's George Scott. 3-10, flies left. Jerry McNertney, 3-11, fly ball to right field. And with 2 outs, Darrell Porter, 2-6, a strikeout. Bottom of 2, Tony Muser, 3-11, flies to center. Louis Aparicio, 4-4, short X. Robin Yount, very young, 3.31 Yount, that's going to be an error. Aparicio doesn't steal bases much anymore. Stinson will bat with a runner at first. 4-10, Stinson off of Torres' card, homer 1-5, fly ball the rest, and he misses it on a 20. And with 2 outs, back up top to Ken Henderson. 2-9 is a roller to second. We go to the third. It's Ron Theobald. 2-10, and there's the, no, 2-10 is a K. I thought it was going to be a single there, but it's not. Robin Yount. 1-9, there is the first hit. Triple 1-6 double. It's a 2-base hit for Yount. Ben Oglivie, 53, right X. Out in right field, you got Bradford, a 2E3 defender. It'll be a fly ball A. Yount tags goes to third. And with a runner at third and 2 outs, it'll be Jose Cardinal. 58, short X, but you got Aparicio at shortstop. He's a 2, and he makes the play. Bottom of the third. It's Dick Allen. 46 is another walk, and now Allen's been on twice. Maybe he will catch fire. B Steeler. You have Zero Arm Reporter. But you got all these on-base machine Chi Sox. You don't necessarily want to run out of an inning unless you have a really weak-armed catcher. So he'll stay put at first base, and it'll be Carlos May. 2-6, let's take a look at Carlos May's card. Right in the middle of the action in this White Sox lineup, or at least that is the hope. Normally he is on base for Dick Allen. This time Dick Allen's on base for him. 2-6 is double 1-4, and that is a single dot. Runners on the corners for Buddy Bradford. 2-5, let's take a look at the Bradford card. Why we moved into the cleanup spot. All those home runs against righties. Was batting second. They flipped him and Dick Allen, and it's paid off today. 2-5 is a single to left field. May 15, get a -3 arm and left. He'll stay put at second base. So just like the first inning, the first three batters reach. George Orta. 46 off Torres is a walk, and the White Sox have it going in the third. Bill Melton, bases loaded, playing back, nobody out. The pitch to Bill Melton. 33, pops to second base. Tony Muser. 5-10 off Torres, center X. You have not the greatest 3-7 in center field. That's a fly ball A. That will be a sac fly, and the other runners move up as well. You got second and third with 2 outs in a 4-0 game. And it's Louis Aparicio. 111 pops to second. Well, they're getting runs. They got 4 of them. That's not bad. Could be 6 or 7, but 4-0 should be enough, you'd think, for Bradley. Top of the 4th, it's Gary Jestad. 110 center. Steve Hovley. 1-7. Homer 1-2, fly ball, and it's a fly ball. And with 2 outs, it's George Scott. 49, second X. This is Orta, a 4E20. And he makes the play. Bottom of the 4th. Bob Stinson will lead it off. 63. Rolls to first. Ken Henderson. 1-7 on again. 1-7, triple one single. It is a base hit. And Dick Allen. 2-3 center. 2 outs. Carlos May. 1-8. That's a base hit on the plus as you're holding Henderson at first. This is why you get that speed up top, to get these pluses and the extra base hits and walks, and just keep loading the bases because you got some sluggers coming up. And here's Buddy Bradford. 56, flies to left field. Well, Chi Sox have left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men on base and scored just 4 times. Will that be enough for Tom Bradley in the 5th? Jerry McNertney, 55. Double 1-16 is a base hit. Darrell Porter, 37 is a walk, 2 on for Ron Theobald. 2-6 is a single to right field. McNertney is slow-footed, he'll hold. So Bradley has suddenly set the table for the Brewers here, and one swing and tie this thing. Bases loaded, nobody out. Not what you're supposed to do. Robin Yount at the plate. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's the pitch. 1-7 is a strikeout. Now you got Ben Ogilvy playing back, hoping for a double play. 1-9 is a 4-6-3 double play off the Ogilvy card, and Bradley makes the White Sox fans happy by getting out of the mess. Bases loaded, nobody out mess. If you're the Brewers, you cannot do that when you're as talent deprived of a team. You need every break you can get, like the breaks they got in the comeback victory off the Chi Sox bullpen in Game 4. But we're starting to see that the White Sox do have the cream rising to the top here, as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bottom of the 5th of a 4-0 affair. It'll be George batting out of Orta. 5-11 off Torres. Flies to right X. Your right fielder today is Ogilvy, a 4E5 in right. Yeah, that's going to be a single. Bill Melton. 54, third X. They got Jestad at third, a 3E37 third baseman. That is an error. You're starting to see that the White Sox could really be opportunistic playing in a weak division with the Brewers, a really old, fading Twin team, and a young, inexperienced Kansas City team. Much like Oakland, the A's and the White Sox have probably the easiest path to the playoffs based on division. American League East is murder because Baltimore, Boston, and New York are dogging it, fighting each other. And you got the Blue Jays overachieving in that division as well. So even with a slow start, the White Sox still are keeping the eye on the prize. It's about tuning up their lineup, defense, rotation, and bullpen, and getting into the playoffs. First and second, batter's Tony Muser. 5'8", lines the third. Aparicio, 37, center, and with 2 outs. Stinson, 55, second base. It's just a 4-0 game, folks. It seems like the White Sox are up 10-zip, though, doesn't it? 4-0 in the 6th. And the White Sox have taken an extra turn through the lineup. You see, 3 times through. The Brewers have only gone through twice. Jose Cardinal, 3rd time around against Tom Bradley. 2-2 rolls to the pitcher. Gary Jestad, 54. Triple 1-2 double, 2-base hit. Steve Hovley, 1-9. This is going to score a run. Double 1-4, single ... It is a single. And Hovley's at first in a 4-1 game. Bradley's a starter 7. Torres is a starter 8. Bradley's going to have to figure out this inning. Runner at first, 1 out. George Scott, 4-10, lines the first. And with 2 outs, it's Jerry McNerney, 33, pops to third. Well, Brewers chip away there. 4-1, bottom of the 6th. Back up top for the 2-for-3, Ken Henderson. 43 pitcher X Torres is an E6. Good fielding pitcher. He makes the play. Dick Allen has been on twice. 42, second X. Gonna get on for a 3rd time here. Again, Theobald, a 3E24 second baseman, and that'll be a base hit. Sometimes you need the gimmies. Take what they give you. Allen gets a cheap single there. He's 2-for-3 plus a walk. Getting untracked. Runner at first, 1 out. Carlos May. 37 is ball 4. That's the patience of this White Sox team. A lot of walks. Henderson, 66. Allen, 99. Carlos May, 79. Bradford, 17 and a split. Orta, 40 walks. Melton, 61 walks. So this team knows how to get on base. It's about the clutch hit. 2 on, 1 out. And here is Buddy Bradford. 38 is a strikeout, but it's better than a double play. 2 outs, 2 on, and it's George batting out of Orta. Let's take a look at this Orta card, folks. Kind of had a slow start, and then suddenly the switch flipped in 74 as he hits 316, 560 plate appearances with 10 home runs, dominates against right-handed pitching, and gets a little bit of time off against lefties, as they do have a Bucky Dent available on the bench. But a big moment here in a 4-1 game, looking for more insurance. The pitch to George Orta. 311 flies to center field. It is 4-1 in the 7th.
You've got mail.
We go to the 7th, it'll be Darryl Porter. 6-12, pitcher. Ron Theobald, 56, single 1 at 16, and he gets it on a 15. We're not going to let Bradley lose this game. He's got a 3-run lead. He'll be gone before that were to happen. Robin Yount, 1-2 is a 5-4-3 double play off the Yount card, and Bradley survives again. Last 3 innings, he's put 6 men on base, but he's wiggled out, only giving up a run. 4-1 game, bottom of the 7th. Stretch time here in Chicago. We are enjoying Baby Huey, the Baby Huey story, the living legend, back in 1970. Curtom Records, this is Baby, lead singer, and they have the Curtis Mayfield's, backup band backing him here. Great stuff. You have Listen to Me, Hard Times. Let's go into some hard times here. Baby Huey and Company. Bottom of the 7th. Here we go. Torres. Just giving up 4 runs, put a bunch of guys on base. He will continue. And it'll be Bill Millen. 67 is a strikeout. Tony Muser, 69 is a base hit. Aparicio, 2-6 lines of short. And with 2 outs, Bob Stinson. 68, single 1-9, lines out. Another missed opportunity there. All right, let's turn this down a little bit. Baby Huey and company. All right, top of the 8th inning of a 4-1 game. White Sox are going to bring in one defensive replacement, and that is you want to get George Orta out of there, his bad defense. And Bucky Dent will come in for him. We'll go to the 8th. 6 outs to get to finish this series. Now, Aker and Forster tried to do that previously with a 3-run lead and failed catastrophically. So, we're going to go with Bradley a little longer, as we've lost some confidence in the White Sox pen of recent. Ben Ogilvy will lead off. 3-10 is a single. Jose Cardinal. 2-6, let's take a look at Cardinal. He was with the Cardinals, Brewers, Cubs all throughout these eras. In 72, he was actually a Cub. 291 average, 17 home runs. Big year for him with the Cubs. 2-6 is a single to right field, and now you got the tie run as Gary Jestad, and this is where they are going to, they're going to do it. They've got to get Forster and Aker on track, and they're going to force him into this now. Terry Forster is coming in the 8th inning, as Jestad doesn't hit lefties very well, and Hovley, McNertney, and Porter don't either. So Terry Forster will come in, his 1972 card. He was 6-5 with a 2.25 ERA in 100 innings. Must redeem himself for the disaster in Game 4. It is a 4-1 game. He will face the tie run here in the 8th. And batting for Gary Jestad, who doesn't hit lefties very well at all, will be the other third baseman, Ken McMullen. Let's take a look at McMullen's card. He's a 269 hitter for the Angels in 72, mostly known for his glove. Probably one of his best offensive years as a 269 hitter. And he has power, though Forster does not have a homer on his card. So it'll be Ken McMullen with runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning of a 4-1 affair. The pitch to Ken. 3-11 is a fly ball to left. Now you have Steve Hovley is decent against lefties, so he'll stick around. 49 off of Forster is single on a 1. Line out the rest, and he gets the line out to 19. That's the improvement of Forster from a year ago. Does not give up a lot of hits. 2 on and 2 outs, and your tie run here with 2 outs is George Scott. Let's take a look at Scott before he swings. Not a lot you can do if you're the White Sox in this situation, but just cross your fingers that Scott doesn't go deep. A 306 hitter with 24 home runs and 665 plate appearances in 73 with probable Gold Glove defense at first, perhaps. George Scott, at the height of his powers, has the tie run, and here is the pitch. 48 off of Forster, you walked him. Now the tie run's at first. The lead run is Jerry McNertney, so we'll have to take a look at Jerry. Here is Jerry McNertney's card. He was a Cardinal in 71. I think he played for the Seattle Pilots, if I'm not mistaken. So somehow he ended up in the Brewer chain. Maybe he left the Brewer chain to go to St. Louis. He was a 289 hitter in 130 plate appearances. Nice little catcher. Very symmetrical, could play against lefties and righties. When he's not catching for the Brewers, he's the DH. So here he is with the bases loaded and 2 outs in a 4-1 game. The pitch to Jerry McNertney. 47 off of Forster. Ball 4. You walked him, and this is the same struggles we're seeing out of Forster. Welcoming the Brewers back into the game. It is 4-2. Bases are loaded. Now you got the tie run at second base. The lead run is at first. Darryl Porter is at the plate. He doesn't hit lefties very well at all. He will leave the game. And in this substitution, it means that McNertney will take over catching duties. But they will go with Rick Reichert as the pinch hitter in this situation. Reichert was actually a White Sox. He played for the White Sox in 71 with 19 home runs and a 278 batting average. Could get some revenge against his former team. The Brewers welcomed him aboard. The White Sox had an abundance of outfielders, including Walt Williams, who was a reserve on the White Sox team. They had no room for Rick Reichert, and he could really hurt their former squad. The only question is, do you let Forster pitch to him or do you go to Aker here? And with 3 straight righties, I think that's it for Forster. He'll only get 2 outs, and now it's up to Jack Aker. The other half of this closing tandem, Jack Aker was sought after. He was a Yankee in 1971, 4-4 with a 2.57 ERA in 56 innings, and a definite improvement over what the White Sox had a year ago. But it's time to step up and close one of these games out. In the 8th inning, Jack Aker will face Rick Reichert with the bases loaded and 2 outs in a 4-2 affair. The pitch to Rick Reichert. 6-10 off of Aker is a fly ball into center field, and Henderson's a 2-6. This should be caught. It's a 2, and it is caught. Snow coned, a fly ball A. It is caught, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. Aker gets out of that rally for the White Sox, leaving the bases loaded. So McNerney takes over catching duties. Reichert takes over DH. Bottom of the 8th of a 4-2 game. Torres has clearly been uneven today, so they're going to pull him after 7. They're going to go to Don Shaw in the bottom of the 8th. Another player from the Cardinals. In the trade, they got Cardinal here. They also got Don Shaw and McNerney. 7-2, 2.65 ERA in 51 innings for Don Shaw in the 8th. And he will face the top of the White Sox lineup, Ken Henderson. 2-4, flies to center field. They're looking for insurance. Dick Allen, 1-4, misses the column of homers on 5 and 6 and 7 and a chance on 8, and he flies left. 2 outs, Carlos May. 2-7 is a base hit. Ace stealer, he's taking off stealing, and he's in there. Carlos May steals second base, putting him in scoring position for Buddy Bradford. The pitch to Buddy. 55, ball 4. And 2 on and 2 outs, and it's Bucky Dent in there as a defensive substitution for George Orta. But the Bucky Dent's actually a 248 hitter, not that awful. The pitch to Bucky Dent. 63 off the Shaw card is first X, but this is George Scott, a Gold Glove first baseman, a 1-8, and he makes the play. Buckle up for the 9th inning. These Brewers, man, they are a pesky team. It is hard to extinguish these guys. It's exactly what the White Sox need to do here. They cannot afford to lose this game and force a Game 7. They got to start playing like a playoff team. They're letting this slip away. 4-2 in the 9th. Jack Aker will have Theobald, Yount, Ogilvy, Fergosi's on the bench if needed, and more right-handers after that. Heavy right-handed laden lineup in the 9th. Leading off, Ron Theobald. 39 is a walk, right on cue. Now, the 2-run lead, Theobald runs down to second base, not being held on with a 2-run lead. So he's at second, and it'll be Robin Yount. 66 is a fly ball to center field. The dangerous Ben Ogilvy. 1-5. Now, that is the perfect result. It is ground ball second A+. So, if you held Theobald, that's a base hit. If Theobald wasn't a good base runner, it's a double play. But he was allowed to go down to second base, so it's just a simple ground out. Theobald ends up at third with 2 outs. And it's Jose Cardinal. We saw his card earlier. Has power, but Aker does not give up any home runs. So the Brewers would need a 1-5 for Cardinal here. They'd have to repeat this dice roll to tie the game. The pitch to Jose Cardinal. 6-10 off of Aker is center X, and this should be a can of corn for Ken Henderson. A 2-6 in center field, and he makes the grab. And that is your ball game. The White Sox win the series. Jack Aker, more importantly, gets a nice little save there, improving the lot of the Chi Sox pen. White Sox win the game in the series 4-2, and win this game 4-2 as well. As a score. So we'll do the box here. Aker does get the save. He came on in the 8th and faced Ken McMullen. got him out and gave up some walks as well. Let's see. Forster came in to face Ken McMullen. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the first two hitters reached. So, he gave up 2 walks, did Forster. And Aker just gave up 1 walk. Neither struck out a batter. The 2 base runners, one of those runs is, the 1 run is charged to Bradley. Bradley gets the win. 7 innings and a couple base runners in the 8th. 8 hits, 2 runs. Both were earned. A walk, 3 strikeouts. Don Shaw came on in the 8th inning. Made it interesting, a hit and a walk, and that was it. Torres actually came out looking pretty good in this loss. He put a bunch of guys on base, but only gave up 4 runs early. Put 14 men on in 7 innings and somehow only gave up 4 runs. Struck out 2. 1019, 0108, 41228. 4-3, 4-2, 4-2, 4-3. That is game 6. And we'll take a look at the box, composite box for the 2 teams, and see where the White Sox are in this very weak division. Probably the weakest division of the 8 at this point, at least. You know, it's funny. The White Sox and the Cubs, both Chicago teams, have very different outlooks. The White Sox have an easy path to the playoffs. For the Cubs, they're in the same division with the Big Red Machine and the Pittsburgh Pirates, so it's not looking good for the Cubs. The White Sox now, after their early season struggles, losing a series to the Red Sox, losing a series to Cleveland, they're now 7-8. Not exactly world beaters, of course. And normally this would be a disaster being 7-8, but in this division it puts them close to the top. Hitting .258 with a 4.01 ERA. They got to improve in both of those areas, really. Wilbur Wood is 2-3 in 39 innings in 3 complete games. Back end, Aker and Forster. Like I said, Aker's ERA is 4. Forster's is 6. There's a loss and 3 saves mixed in there. The hitting star, Bill Melton, 5 home runs. But really, Dick Allen is 19 for 54. Actually, that's not that bad. Dick Allen's hitting a very weird 352. He's hitting 352, but only has 1 home run and 9 RBI. So not the type of performance in the clutch you need out of a cleanup hitter, but he's hitting 352. Maybe they'll leave him in the 2 spot for now. He's got 9 hits. Actually, he has 19 hits. Ken Henderson's 20 for 60. And your Brewers, unfortunately, are 5-11, hitting .267 with a 4.43 ERA. .267 with a 4.43 ERA. Not very good numbers for your Milwaukee Brewers. That's the end of this series. The league has played 155 games, hitting .256 with a 3.19 on base, a 3.41 ERA, and a 1.37 whip. Congratulations for the White Sox winning their first series of the year. 4 games to 2. Thanks for checking this out, folks. We'll see you next time.